So I have an update on the Porsche Boxster, and it's not good. Now, the big problem with the Boxster is we're seeing here. This is transmission fluid straight from the gearbox. And it's brown, black, supposed to be reddish. As we look under. We're gonna see fluid absolutely everywhere. And we can see exactly where it's coming from. Straight out of the transmission. What a mess. Now, what we don't know is how bad it actually is, or if it just needs a service. But judging by this, and judging by the history of Porsche Boxsters, the gearbox could be on its way out. So from here, I'm going to be sending it off to a transmission specialist. A lot of the times with the Boxster, whenever there's an issue with the gearbox, a lot of people just get a second-hand one and just slap a new one in. So we might be along the same case. I'm going to take it in for a transmission service, see if we can fix that leak with a local guy here. I don't know anything about transmission, so I have no idea. But I'm going to take it there, see what's going on, and let him make the assumption of whether it's worth fixing or slap a brand new second-hand one in. So we're going to drop it off there today. It's going to take about a week or so to get into the shop, and that'll give us an update. After that, we're hoping to get the seats refurbed and then go in for paint. But it all depends on what happens with this gearbox here. Then once we get it back from there, we're going to be looking at a few maintenance issues. Now you can see the shocks are busted. Everything knocks and bangs. All the boots are busted, bushes are busted. Both sides. So we've got a lot of work to do in here, but I think we're going to wait until we sort out that gearbox issue to see if it's really worth investing more time into. Of course it is. Of course I'm going to invest more time and money into it. I want to see this thing get back to its glory days. Even though it's got a stack of Ks and a lot of wear and tear, we want to see it get back to its glory days of being a Porsche Boxster. Look at that wheel. Spectacular. So the next stage is I'll report back once we have an update on the gearbox in the next week or so. And then we'll make a decision on what to do next. Brand new second-hand gearbox or gearbox refurbishment. And then we'll start doing seats, paint, and every bush, bar, pin, pretty much everything to do with suspension will be getting replaced also. Now I have a bit of an update on this video. I did take it to a transmission specialist to have a look. He had a look. In about 15 minutes, he called me back after the car was dropped there and said, hey, we're not going to service this transmission because it needs a new gearbox, because we don't want to touch it. We don't want to learn about it. We don't want anything to do with it because it's going to open a can of worms that we don't want to deal with. Fair enough. I don't blame him at all. So we're going to be on the hunt for a new gearbox. A new gearbox, well, brand new second-hand gearbox, goes for about $4,000 and another $500 delivery. So I think I'm going to try and find a Boxster that's been written off potentially and get a parts car and try and join the two together and make one Porsche Boxster, because it's my first Porsche. I feel quite connected to this car now, and I want to drive it. I want to have fun with it. I've got all the other parts. I'm ready to go. So I think we're going to lash out and try and find a parts car and join the two together. I've never done that before, and it sounds pretty exciting, to be honest. And I think I'd much rather spend 6 or 7 on that than spend 5 on a gearbox and just have the gearbox. Might as well get the whole car for a few thousand or more. So I think that's where we're going to be at. So the next update on this one will be, hopefully, buying a Porsche Boxster again as a parts car.